Four things every entrepreneur should do before meeting investors. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host Shakaama. Please like the video to make sure to continue this series. Almost all startups, whether they're in a major hub like Silicon Valley, Boston, or New York, or gambling capital, Las Vegas, face the same problem. Every Monday morning, I sit in a Boundless Enterprise corporate meeting, an online strategy meeting. We discuss online strategies till we're blue in the face, but one resounding issue always comes around. Funding. Quote, "We need funding," they say. We're really looking to raise more capital from investors, angels, or anywhere. This challenge always manages to find a way into a startup founder's conversation, and while starting lean and bootstrapping are great ways to begin a venture, there comes a time when some companies will need to look elsewhere to continue their growth. Fortunately, between venture capitalists, angel investors, and equity crowdfunding, more and more channels of funding are becoming available. That said, the funding round isn't easy, and it's difficult to get people to fork over cash to invest in your company. To enter into these meetings with confidence and possibility of success, entrepreneurs need to be prepared in the four following ways. Number one, what's your story? This isn't about your product, your service, or your elevator pitch aptitude. This is about you. This is about your team. This is about how you got this point in your business. Investors want to know what it is about your background that brought you to them with the solution you've created. They want to hear that, what previous experiences you've acquired that makes you the right person to invest in and help your company grow. Show them your passion. Quote, "The hunger is important," said Tim Barton, angel investor. It's not their arrogance or boastful assurance in the company that appeals to an investor, but their hunger, the passion that drives their business. Investors aren't just investing in a company, they're investing in the person behind it. They want people who will work diligently and with zeal, and as a result, make them return on their investment. Know your story, practice it, be prepared to tell them what your company does, who you are, and how you got there. And all within 10 seconds. No, I'm kidding. All within a relatively short period of time. Number two, know your split. Each entrepreneur has his or her own ideas about equity offers to investors. Depending on the amount of money they're anteing up, some investors will want a lot of equity and some will want a little. Whatever the case, it's always a good idea to go in with your own ideas of what's reasonable split. Be careful not to give away so much that it diminishes your incentive to work, owing to the few profits you'll stand to receive in return for your efforts. Quote, "I like entrepreneurs to make the first offer in equity," says Gina Danner, an investor with Women's Capital Connection. "They have the idea. I want to make sure the equity I'm taking keeps them engaged and thrilled to grow with. Do the math. Whether it's $25,000 for 5% or $200,000 for 16%, make sure you run the numbers and can see when the deal makes sense and when it does not." Number three, what's the money for? Map out what you plan to do with the investor's money. This doesn't have to be written in concrete because we all know things in the startup are ever changing, but have a plan that galvanizes the big idea for your venture. If it's to hire more people or buy more space, say that. Quote, "Be upfront with the money is for," Barton said. "If they need a salary, I want them to say that." Investors may not always agree with the terms or ideas you've laid out, but they'll see a committed founder who knows where his or her next steps are headed, instead of someone looking for money because he or she believes it's just the next step in having a startup. Number four, don't overpromise. Potential investors are going to ask for a lot of questions. The key here is to be honest with them, foregoing any bluster or pretending. As a young company, there will be many things to figure out. Don't cover up your uncertainty by lying to or overpromising an investor. Quote, "Sometimes I ask a question to which there isn't an answer because I want to see if they can admit when they don't know or if they'll just make something up instead," said Wes Bergman, angel investor. It's a red flag if an entrepreneur is that desperate for money. Being able to recognize your company's current limits or unforeseen changes means you can look at your state of affairs through a realistic lens. You've worked hard to negotiate through the right networks and land this meeting. Don't let a lack of preparation and practice keep you from getting in the game. In our next series, we're going to do more discussion about how to land investors and funding and the things you need to do to prepare before meeting with investors. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. This is an entire series.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and